games happened on Thursday night. The first game was Detroit Pistons losing to the Sixers. Sixers, of course, still without Ben Simmons. Detroit, this game, Jeremy Grant came back, and shooting is a struggle. Free throw was a struggle for him as well, but played 36 minutes. That's what you want to see out of him. If you got him, I think other than efficiency, everything else is pretty solid. He could score a bunch, hit a lot of threes, 6 rebounds, and defensive stats. If you can bring in a lot of defensive, his value, his top 50 is pretty easily top 50. 4 steals and a block on the season. Let's see, in 9 category leagues, per game basis, he's already 45th. Only averaging 16 points, but wow, 2.3 steals and 2 blocks. That's not sustainable. But pretty sure he can get his scoring average up and his threes up. His percentage, he's shooting 34%. Isaiah Stewart is a buy low. I think he should have very solid. It's like Jerry Jackson Jr. Every once in a while, not every once in a while, a lot of the times they're in foul trouble. This game only 18 minutes against Joel Embiid. That was understandable, but don't drop him. You could buy low. Sadiq Bey, very solid, 19 points. He should have value all season. I wouldn't leave him on the waiver wire. And if you want to trade him 2-for-1s, I think he's just like on the edge of, if you're in a competitive league, you're not gonna find guys like that on the waiver wire. But you might be better off just streaming that spot than holding him all the time, especially if the Pistons have 3 games that week. Killian Hayes played 31 minutes. If anybody thinks Killian Hayes, if you can trade him, I doubt anybody's gonna take the bait because the number 1 pick is coming back. So Kelly Olynyk still played 25 minutes. A big reason is Isaiah Stewart was in some foul trouble, and they might want to stretch the floor against Joel Embiid. I don't think he's gonna have, if everybody is healthy, I don't think he's gonna have play 25 plus minutes every single night. So I would again look to trade him. He had a really nice game the other night as well. This game, Isaiah Stewart was in foul trouble. I don't think he's gonna play 25 minutes every single night. So I think this is a really good time to sell him. Do a 2-for-1s. Rest of Detroit don't care. It don't really matter. Danny Green 0-for-5, but had 2 steals and 2 blocks. If you want those 3 categories, you could stream him if they have a back-to-back. 3 steals and blocks. Everything else is negative. Tobias Harris 2 blocks, 17 points. Just Tobias Harris number. And Joel Embiid, the guy's knee bothering him right off a week into the season, and seriously, if you could sell Joel Embiid for James Harden, I would probably do it. If you can sell Joel Embiid for Damian Lillard, I would probably do it too. Already he's, those 2 guys, I think they're going to be better. Harden is out of shape, and obviously free throw is impacting both, but I think those guys are going to, total value, they're going to be better than Joel Embiid, in my opinion. So if you want to, in category leagues, if you want to pivot your team a little bit, go smaller, try to trade those 2 guys. Joel Embiid per game basis, maybe better than Dame, maybe just as good as Harden, although Harden is really bad right now. But we want to look at the total value. Those 2 other guys are way better. This game, obviously, everything's great. 18 rebounds as well, 13 for 15 from the free throw line. Seth Curry, 3-point streamer, and Tyrese Maxey. If you get a chance to sell him, if he scores 30 points, I think it's perfect time to sell him. This game, although, is pretty good. I would try to sell him. Ben Simmons, we don't know when he's coming back, and we don't know when he can get traded. But even at this current rate, how good is Tyrese Maxey? Let's see. It's only been a few games. I understand that. He's a 118th ranked player, right? Playing 33 minutes. He give you some points, but only 1 3. That's kind of low. But again, if he pop out for 30, try to trade him. And Matisse Thybulle in just 16 minutes had 3 steals. Continues to be a defensive streamer. Let's look at the next team, the Atlanta Hawks. Losing to the Wizards. It was a very a good bounce back for the Wizards. The Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter, Bogdanovich, and Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish had a huge game, but none of them is must roster. If they got a back-to-back, I would stream them. I really don't think they're must roster. It also depends on who's out there on the waiver wire. If you're in a competitive league and like a guy like Carmelo Anthony is your best go-to, then you probably want to hold Bogdanovic at least. John Collins, huge game, 20. The Wizards inside is with Montrezl Harrell, so it's expected he goes. And Clint Capella, buy low, guys. He only played 23 minutes. It's just one game. His role on this team is pretty secure. I don't see anybody taking minutes away from him. There's no like any other true big man, right? They might want to go small with John Collins at 5, but most of the time, Clint Capella is going to get 25 to 30 minutes, grabbing you 14 rebounds. A good buy low opportunity. If he struggles again for a few more games, he doesn't really struggle. It's just the playing time is kind of low. Bogdanovic, we already talked about. He and Trae Young, only 3 free throw attempts, so that's really impacting him a lot. But he's doing the other stuff. 13 assists, 2 steals, and a block, 15 points. I'll take it. Obviously free throw is impacting his value a lot, but he's still putting up respectable stats. He's still a very low field goal guy, a lot of turnovers, but 2 steals in a block. If Trae Young can bring that every other night, that's can't complain. For the Washington Wizards, KCP went off 5 threes, but come on, guys, we know this guy not fantasy relevant. Kyle Kuzma, good, 3 for 6 from the free throw is pretty bad, but 21 points, 8 rebounds, 3 steals is always nice. If you want rebound and points, you want Kyle Kuzma over Darius Bazley. I think we agree to that. Montrezl Harrell, guys, sell high. We gotta sell high. He's not have value all season. Guys will hurt. Once they come back, he won't play over 30 minutes. I think we already know in the beginning of the season. But if the guy 34 minutes, this is what he can do. But perfect sell high. Bradley Beal, 27 points. Beal, he hasn't really. He's 69th ranked player, just really, really struggling. Only averaging 21 and a half points. Yeah, I would buy low on him, and he's really struggling with his shot. And only averaging 1.3 threes, shooting 36%. I don't know what he's doing in the offseason. Maybe just rehabbing his injuries. I'm not sure. But not good. But expect him to be top 10 and fairly healthy. He's not a guy known to injuries, at least in the past few seasons. Wizards. Dinwiddie was also out, so Aaron Holiday came in and played 24 minutes, but just very empty line. But Kyle Kuzma, with everybody out, he's playing well, so a must roster at the moment. The next game, the New York Knicks. It was 2 interesting teams this season. Both teams were quite hot coming to the game, and Knicks got the win barely, but they got the win. Kemba Walker played 29 minutes. I think it might be a sell high on Kemba. A couple of things. One, if you look at his minutes, he hasn't played over 30 minutes since the first game. The second thing is, look at his shot attempt. Only 12 shots. And last game, I know he had 19 points, but he didn't really shoot that much. Maybe he's playing himself back into the, his old self. But these past 2 games have been good. And I would look potentially, if I can get a top 70, 80 guy back for Kemba, I'm very happy, right? Because he's going to also miss out on back-to-backs. So let's see. I'm more inclined to, I'm not ready to trade Kemba high. Try to look around the league, see if a trade makes sense. Kemba Walker, if you got Miles Bridges, Kemba Walker and Miles Bridges for a top 40. I don't think Kemba plus Miles Bridges for a top 30 guy is not too hard, right? Try to do that. Whoever, what's a top 30 that's currently struggling? I can't think of a good example right now. What's Kemba's rankings? Kemba's ranking after this game is fairly high. He's 56th ranked player, only averaging 14 points, but he's shooting the ball really well, 49%, and only taking 10 shots a game. So I think, although last week was bad, this week has been good. I'm looking to sell high. Evan Fournier, just hold him. He's played 33 minutes and took 14 shots. So good. The other games he's gonna chip in. Mitchell Robinson, 4 for 4, 2 blocks. Hasn't really exploded yet, but still good enough. Julius Randle struggled. Maybe Julius Randle need to take a backseat. They got a lot of firepower on this team. He doesn't have to take 18 shots a game. Maybe 12, 13 shots is good. Grabbing 16 rebound, 9 assists is good. Still a monster game from Julius. If Julius Randle ever gets hurt, I think guys like Kemba, Evan Fournier, those values going to go up. Those usages. RJ also had a great game. Just collectively, Knicks played really well. And now we have Derrick Rose coming off the bench, playing 20 minutes. Good stuff from the Knicks. And they are 4-1, I think. For the Bulls, sure. I mean, the big news here is Zach LaVine hurt his finger. So I think that's going to impact him in some way. Maybe his efficiency a little bit. Who knows? He might choose to. Right now, it looks like he might choose to play it out, see what happens. But like I said, after the first 2 games, we want to sell highs on Zach LaVine. If he continues to play this well, I will still try to sell high. This game not so much. 41% from the field, 25 points, and the biggest thing is, can he do the other things? Not really at the moment. 9 for 9 from the free throw line is really good. Vucevic, 22 points. Good stuff from Vucevic, so consistent. DeRozan, everybody's playing well on this Bulls team. 20 points, 2 steal and block, 1-3 even, 5 for 5. Good stuff from DeRozan. I really thought he may not, take this many. He's gonna take a back seat because there are a lot of young guys on this team. He doesn't have to take 15 shots a game, but so far he hasn't really slowed down. Yeah, his ranking is pretty high. 46 ranked player, averaging 22. Maybe he can average, and only shooting 41%. He's taking 18 shot attempts a game. That is crazy. James Harden right now is taking 15.6. So, is he gonna continue? I think if he can get a top 40 guy back for DeRozan, I absolutely would do it. I don't think he's going to finish inside the top 60. Maybe he would. Lonzo Ball struggled. This is Lonzo Ball. If he struggles the thing with Lonzo is, if he struggles, he can do the other stuff, right? 6 rebound, 4 assists, and a block. I know it doesn't look that pretty, going 2 for 8 from the line, only 6 points. But I would buy low on Lonzo if this continues happening. Alex Caruso had played 33 minutes. His steal numbers are insane at the moment, and assist. So if you need those 2 categories, go grab them. The next game is the Jazz and the Rockets. This game wasn't close. Just easy game from everybody. Rudy played 28 minutes. 1 block, 14 rebounds. Okay, Royce O'Neal. I think if you pound him points, he could be a streamer, or even roster him full time, because he doesn't give you points. He had 7 points. Usually he doesn't even. It's Draymond Green, except no assist. I think he provides some nice defensive stats and rebound. So I like him. Bogdanovic is not a must roster. Sorry, Bogdanovic is we got a roster him in 12-team leagues, but he's one of those guys you're probably better off streaming that spot. Especially in that week, he got 3 games, right? But you just don't find guys like that on the waiver wire, right? Because he will get scooped up immediately. So for those type of guys, it's better to wait for them to go off for a few games and try to sell them. Donovan Mitchell continued to struggle from the field, but this season, the assists and the steals is quite nice. He's not scoring a lot. Right now, 50th ranked player, right on the dot, averaging just 20 points. I would expect him to average 25 points. Shooting 39% from the field. What else is new? But averaging 1.8 steals. 5 assists is also nice. We want to see him average 5.5, but 5 is okay. 1.8 steals. Let's see if he can do that. Last few seasons, his rookie season, he averaged 1.5. If he can average 1.5 again, then he could be in 9 categories, he could be a top 30. If not top 50. But if you obviously pounding field goal, his value goes up a lot. Joe Ingles also had a really good game for threes, but if Mike Conley healthy, not really. And Mike Conley very okay numbers for steal and for assist and a steal. And Jordan Clarkson does what he does, just points and threes, give you exactly that. For the Rockets, Christian Wood did a bit everything, hit his free throws, so that's can't complain too much. What is Woody? Okay, 34th ranked player so far. So, he's just shooting 71% from the free throw line. Pretty good. This is why we love Christian Wood in fantasy, because he's a big guy. He can average 20-10. and he can shoot threes and block shots. And we know his field goal is not exactly the best, only 46%. But yeah, even with this level of stat, so far he's 34th ranked. So big men in the category leagues, usually their ranking is going to be better than guards. Regardless, it's about his free throws. If he can be a 75 free throw guy, I don't see too big of a problem him being top 40. Daniel Theis, not interesting. And Kevin Porter Jr. hurt his ankle. Well, we don't know how bad it is. He might miss a few games. So that's good. I mean, so far he's leading the league in turnovers. Him or Russell Westbrook, I'm not sure. Last week he had one game, he had 9 turnovers, and another game he had 7. This game, because he got hurt, only 1 turnover. So that's great. Jalen Green, if you have this guy, you got to pound field goal, man. I know last week he had a 30-point game. The guy is not good. 3 for 16. Maybe Jazz is a very good defensive team, but yeah, if you're pounding field goal, I'll be more than happy to have him. If you're not, it's tough. I would look to trade him. Eric Gordon, a 3-point streamer, didn't really do much. And Sangon played 24 minutes, 3 steals. The guy gets so many steals. Interesting to see if his minutes can creep up. Give more and more minutes. So there's no point playing Daniel Theis 20 minutes even. They might as well just start the rookie. For now, I don't think it's hard to hold him, I think. The next game is the Spurs losing to Dallas Mavericks. And we know McDermott is also in the short term. I think Lonnie Walker and Devin Vassell both have some value, even though both only played 27 minutes. Lonnie Walker brought the defensive stats, so that's pretty good. And Devin had 2 blocks, 5 rebounds, didn't really shoot the ball well. But those 2 guys, we could stream them for sure. Keldon Johnson, another one of those guys that you're not going to find guys like this on the waiver wire, but if he gets dropped, right, he will get scooped up immediately. But if you have him on your team, you're probably better off just streaming that spot. Jacob Poeltl, huge game. Man, Poeltl have had a great start. 43rd ranked player, averaging 15.6 points. No threes. Considering he has no threes, it's really impressive that he's ranked 43rd. My God. Shooting 68% from the field. If you're pounding threes and free throw, he's a monster. 3.2 steals, 3.2 assists as well. 1 steal and only 1.4 blocks. That could go even higher. So if you're pounding, if you're a big man team, he could be a top 20 guy. So I didn't really see that coming. I mean, we know he was good. We know he's good. Last year he was good, but not like this. I know it's a very sample size, but yeah, he's playing really well at the moment, putting up huge lines game after game. But maybe team will figure him out. Derek White didn't shoot the ball well, but did everything else. 1 rebound, 7 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, so still pretty good. DeJounte Murray continues to be strong. 3 threes, 20. Wow, 3 threes. Maybe 3 threes. That's good. 23. Maybe a bit sell high. I think the past 2 games he played. Realistically, to me, he's a maybe top 50, top 60 guy. But so far, where's he at? Just curious. Oh, top 30, 30th ranked. So not that far off. Actually, far off. Top 30 versus top 50, top 60. So if you can get trade him to get a top 30 guy back, I would. A top 30 guy that's struggling. Like if you can get him for Brandon Ingram, him plus another guy to get a Brandon Ingram. Again, it depends on what you want. They bring very different level of stats. But Brandon Ingram is for sure better. Dallas Mavericks, Porzingis was out, and I think he's already out for tonight. So it begins just 1 week into the season. So Reggie Bullock started, didn't really do much, and Dorian Finney-Smith, just solid numbers. Every time I look at this guy, 14 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals. You could definitely stream him, especially without Porzingis. Dwight Powell, I think at this point we know who he is. Tim Hardaway Jr. made 1 3, somewhat disappointing, but if you need points and threes, he's a go-to guy. And Luka, huge game, Sorry, not huge game. Huge efficiency, but 0 for 3 from the free throw line. Good field goal. 3 threes, 25 points, 5 assists, and a block. For a guy that's getting, like, if you got him in the top 5, he's 64th ranked. I understand that, he providing the points, assists, and rebound. Those are hard to get. But, in 9 category leagues, as bad as Harden has played, where is Harden? Like, Harden might still rank higher than Doncic. Yeah, Harden's 39th ranked player. And in some leagues, in category leagues, Luka was taken before Harden. So that just tells you in 9 category leagues, Luka is not very good. And if you want to have him, you want to pound multiple categories. Maxi Kleber came out of nowhere, 10 rebound, 2, 6. Yeah, maybe you could pick him up, see what he can do tonight. And Jalen Brunson, I think he played really well for a few games. I think it's time to pick him up and just ride with it because he's getting minutes, 30 minutes. If he play 30 minutes, he does have the upside getting some assists. Even though with Luka, it's hard to get that many assists. But if he gets 30 minutes a night, I think it could be interesting. I wouldn't hate to grab him. And let's look at the last game of the night. The Grizzlies beating the Warriors in overtime. Desmond Bain, right now he's a must roster. Same thing with DeAnthony Melton. Look at that, 4 steals and 3 blocks. But we have to sell them. Dillon Brooks is coming back. We have to sell them. They're playing really well. They're probably better players than Dillon Brooks, as Josh Lloyd has repeatedly said that. But Dillon Brooks is going to be the starter. So sell them. I think they're both going to get impacted for sure. Look at Desmond's minutes, 30 minutes, the second highest. There is no way that's going to continue happening. Jaren Jackson Jr., he still played 32 minutes because he's the best guy on the team, actually. He's a plus 14. But if he can try to be not in foul trouble, that would be great. And as bad as he played, big man with blocks, their rankings are just so damn high, averaging 1.6 blocks, and everything else is pretty bad, and he's still ranked 60. The rankings I know they are all over the place, but averaging 2.4 threes. Shooting 31% as a power forward. I know he takes a lot of threes, but those percentages are gonna go up. So if he can buy low, I would. The threes, the blocks, very, very good, and he provides obviously decent points. And efficiency should be better than this. And some rebound, Steven Adams against Warriors, they elected to go small. Don't drop him. He still put up a big line. And DeAnthony Melton, 4 steals and 3 blocks. We got to sell him. Ja Morant, I think another sell high. He did this last year too. And then he hurt his ankle. He came back, never be the same. I'm not saying he's going to get injured, but I think shooting 50% from the field again, 30 points, 4 steals. If he can get steals and shoot 8 threes a game, then he's a top 30 guy. He deserves his draft position, but I still think he's a sell high. If you can sell him for Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet's been struggling quite a bit in category leagues because he's a low field goal. Yeah, he's 54th ranked player. I would do that trade. Although Ja Morant gave more points, but Fred VanVleet way more steals and way more threes. And field goal is obviously tough for VanVleet. But I think overall VanVleet has for sure way more value than Ja Morant in 9 category leagues. Also turnovers is way better for Fred. So yeah, trade for the Grizzlies, mainly sell high on Ja Morant and try to trade Kyle Anderson too. If somebody thinks Kyle Anderson is good. Because Dillon Brooks coming back gonna impact those guys' minutes a little bit. For the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins again, just every time 16, 17 points. A steal in a block, 4 rebounds, can't complain. Draymond, this is what Draymond does. I think he didn't really get a lot of defensive stats the first week. Didn't have any blocks the first week either. And this game, 3 steals and 5. This is why we drafted Draymond. It's for those defensive stats. Right, I think last week, one game he went 2 for 9 from the free throw line, so his rankings is pretty bad. His ranking is still pretty bad. A ranked 156 ranked player. Before this game might be a buy low on Draymond after this game. It will be tough. I think realistically, if you're pounding points, Draymond is top 30. If you're not pounding points, he could be a top 60 guy. If he can continue to do this, that's top 20 for sure. Kevon Looney, not interesting. Jordan Poole played horrible. He had 6 turnovers in just 24 minutes. If he gets dropped, I would scoop him up. I'm still pretty high on Poole, but just so you know, he's just gonna be barely a top 100 guy. Maybe another one of those guys that, him and Bogdanovich, I would pick Jordan Poole. Like out of all the guys that, it's better to stream that spot. He's probably the best guy. A lot of good upside. And this season, he's been getting a lot of steals. One thing I noticed. So it's just the shots and playing smarter. Curry played 40 minutes. I'm worried about Curry's health. The fact that they're playing him such high minutes. So far, Curry has been really, really strong. Where's Curry? Second ranked player. I mean, no surprise there. Injury would be the only concern for Curry this season. And that's it for all the games. I'll see you guys tomorrow.